Let's get one thing straight right from the beginning. 9:30 a.m. is 9:30 a.m.
The locations we're going to be filming on the show are all accessible by helicopter, and they're quite small. All of them have some form of exposure hazard, in other words, cliffs or steep snow slopes.
From now on, we set a time, you make it. Straightforward, simple. Right.
When I read the script, I thought, there's no way they're gonna make me do any of this stuff. I mean, I'll train, I'll get on the treadmill, and sure, give me an ice axe, I'll fool around.
It wasn't like being on a soundstage where you're gonna have to pretend that the 2,000-3,000 drop straight down on every side of where I am, and if I go off it, I die. Because all that was true.
One of the big concerns was, geez, I hope I don't get a prima donna.
We never really had to act scared because we were so scared.
I had a conversation with Martin, and he said, no wimps, I'm not hiring any wimps. In the mountaineering section of our training, we started rock climbing. We teach most people to climb incrementally, starting on flat ground.
That's it.
Oh, really?
One strong pull up for that blue. Cool.
They were put through a fairly rigorous program for 4 weeks so that on screen they looked like they were mountain climbers.
Hang with it.
Barry Blanchard, our climbing instructor, was there on the set every day.
Think about bridging there, Robin. Right foot up to the next red hold behind you.
Barry's biggest trick in training us was to give us confidence.
Barry is my idol.
I think he made me think I was a better climber than I actually was.
They worked on indoor walls, climbing walls.
Good job, Scott.
Learning how to put on a harness, how to tie some knots, then going sideways with a spotter, learning climbing movement without assuming any risk. Got in the helicopters and went up high and found some waterfall ice, frozen waterfalls to practice our ice climbing on.
Your dominant hand, you'll find it's probably quite natural to crack the wrist.
Start a meter off the ground and work it going sideways.
That's the top, Scott. Happy. That's about the top.
Until I see that you're planting your crampons right and getting your ice axes in there right, then we'll get you on a rope and start sending you up.
Every day I wasn't working, I would climb most of the time with Barry. What a privilege to have one of the greatest ice climbers alive as my personal coach.
I just get on the ice and they tell me, you know, get your legs further apart, keep your heels down.
We'd take a box lunch and get in a helicopter and go climbing. I thought, you know, a billionaire couldn't do this.
Just by virtue of him being so supportive, you had the confidence to get up there, and it really did help in the shoot. So I came back to LA to do a press junket, and I went in, and they're like, hey, well, who taught you how to climb? And I said, Barry Blanchard, and it was literally like saying I'd rocked out with the Rolling Stones. We learned from the best. I felt so confident because I knew Barry wouldn't break me.
For me, the hardest part was just learning to trust all the equipment and the fact that it really worked and it would hold.
Boom.
And to trust the instructors. You know, you really depended on the expertise of these mountain safety guys.
You started to be able to concentrate on your scene, on your lines.
I'm trying to get into character here, man. What the hell?
I think the most beautiful thing with Barry was worry when it happens, don't worry before. Worry when it happens, and then you really know what you're supposed to do because we're so trained for it.
George, go to your left fraction, just a couple of inches. But
Also for things like, how would you be breathing at this altitude? Where are we in the film? Okay, you're at 18,000 feet. What is breathing like at 18,000 feet?
The cast was brilliant. They were all a pleasure to work with. No big attitudes. People really keen to do a good job.
Hours and hours to look this glamorous.
I'm ready for some more ice climbing now.
We would have 25 safety people on every location.
I don't have a little rope I can hold on to as we go.
Yeah. Making sure that no one gets lost and backs up doing that.
The first location we're working at, there's been a lot of activity around that area, and as a result, the snow surface has become very, very hard and very slippery.
I think the movie is a compression of a lot of things that can go wrong on a climb. And indeed, almost all of those things that we portray have happened in the history of mountaineering, but they've never really happened all in a couple days.